Welcome! We're here at Six Flags Qiddiya City with the IAAPA EMEA Middle East Trade Summit. It's super exciting to be here to actually see this project coming to life. We're here with Machamer, who is Park President of Six Flags and Aquarabia Qiddiya City. Brian, thank you very much for having us. It's exciting and it is happening.
Yes, it's happening, and we're certainly thrilled to have you here to give you a little sneak peek behind the curtains and see what we've been working on the last several years.
It's actually amazing to be here. We have followed this project for so many years, and I think I can only imagine what it took to build this and to plan this. But I think you also had to overcome many people not believing in this. So tell us a little bit about your sentiment coming down this journey.
A project of this size, obviously, it's years in the making. I know a lot of people, when we announce something, they want to see something, very soon, the next year to go visit. But it takes literally 5-6 years to do these sort of projects at this scale. So we're now in that timeline, and now we're actually getting closer to opening these parks.
Tell us a little bit, because I think the industry knows about Falcon's flight, about particular attractions, but I think not everyone understands the big picture vision of what you're creating here.
Sure. So really, Qiddiya City is going to be the first city built around the philosophy of play, right? So everything we do, we live, we work, it's all about play. The first two assets that are coming online in the city will be Six Flags Qiddiya and Aquarabia, our water theme park. And I think when you look at what we've done here with Six Flags, the first Six Flags theme park, designed from scratch, built outside the U.S. Since 1971. Aquarabia, the water theme park, unbelievable skill, details, and theming. But it's going to set the tone for all the other assets coming at Qiddiya City, whether it's the Formula One speed track, the themed hotels, the Dragon Ball anime park that's been announced, and more attractions to come.
If you rewind back 10 years, would you yourself would have ever imagined something like this to happen? And do you sometimes think like I'm in a dream? Because it's a giga-project of incredible dimensions.
It's extremely difficult to do. It's difficult to do in cities in Europe or Orlando or in the U.S. So when you think about doing this in Saudi Arabia, where this was just we call it brownfield versus greenfield, literally a desert, and you need to bring power, water, all the utilities, all the city services. We have to have our own hospitals, schools eventually. So there's a lot that goes into the infrastructure to get us to where we are today to support the parks. And yeah, sometimes it's a monumental task, and it does take time to get there. So.
Tell us a little bit about the place where we are. I mean, we see this backdrop here in the end. Tell us about the location.
So this area is also known as Edge of the World, and the mountain range that we look here, it's the Tuwaiq Mountains. And they may not look 600 feet or 200 meters tall, but they are that tall. And this area used to be underwater billions of years ago. So we've seen a lot of fossils and things as we were doing excavation in this area. But really, this is the shot that money can't buy, yes. Right? The views that are surrounding most of Qiddiya are these majestic cliffs on the upper plateau, another section of Qiddiya City. So there'll be connectivity between the upper plateau and the lower plateau, and really to play on the majestic natural surroundings, which you can't build that. And so we're just fortunate to be able to be building this destination right here at the base of those mountains.
And I think, touring the park, I'm fascinated. You play with the backdrop, you play with the visuals, but you also see the mountain coming into the park.
Sure.
It feels at certain moments, right?
Yes. You'll see a lot of our coasters are backdropped against the mountain. But one of the one attraction that everyone's anticipating is Falcon's flight, right? So it's going to be the world's tallest, fastest, longest roller coaster in the world, and there's never been a ride that has held all 3 records. And how we achieve that in some ways, there's a few points in that attraction, but we actually, there was a thought that we would launch a roller coaster up to the top of that 200-meter cliff and then dive off of that cliff, accelerating on a track that's over 4.2 kilometers long. And as you walk around the park, pretty much everywhere you look, you're going to be able to see Falcon's flight in some capacity. And so, yeah, we wanted to have the connectivity to the mountains and also use that to our advantage to in the design of some of the rides.
I was very impressed because when you walk through the park, even some of the rock work in the park actually is reminiscent of what you see in the back. So it's
Exactly.
very nice to see that interaction.
And the theming, this being the first Six Flags theme park, that was something that we really wanted to focus on, was the quality of the theming. We wanted the highest standards, and particularly when you're replicating the natural rockwork around us, you could easily get that right or wrong. I should say you could easily get it wrong. Mm-hmm. So we were very happy to see the quality of the rockwork that's mimicking the mountain range around us, that it's really, you can't even tell the difference. In fact, we've taken some groups through the park, and they thought that some of the rockwork that's man-made was actually here, and we actually built some of our buildings or attractions around that rockwork. So that's a real testament to the quality of the theming teams that worked on the park.
And that was actually surprising for me coming here, and everybody knows about Six Flags, everybody knows about Aquarabia, about
Right.
Qiddiya City, but to see the sheer dimensions of what you're doing here is unbelievable to me.
There's a lot of work that's happening throughout the 450 kilometer development that you don't see from where we stand today, but trust me, it's happening all across.
Biggest challenge for you when you look at your time here? For how long have you been here now? involved
Over
in the
5
project?
years.
5 years.
Yeah.
What was your biggest challenge actually in those years?
I think there's a lot of doubters just how ambitious the projects are, and I appreciate the vision, the dream as big as you can, because like I said, you wanted something that's really going to captivate the world. And I think it's been convincing people that this is a legitimate project. It's going to be built. It's going to be built to the quality that people saw from initial renderings. And I think, like I said, this is a long-term project. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think we're going to hit a home run right out of the gate with Six Flags and Aquarabia. And I think hopefully that'll then pave the way for the rest of the development. And if you're not in Saudi Arabia or working in Saudi Arabia or thinking of coming, I think that'll change soon after we open.
I actually would underline that. After everything I have seen here today, I think the pictures and videos which you saw anywhere on the internet, they don't do justice to what we see here.
But not at all, not at all. Yeah. So we're excited to welcome our guests later this year and start to get that awareness and exposing and showcasing these parks to the rest of the world.
Sounds good. And I think we will continue to the next station.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
We are now in Grand Exposition, one of the themed areas of Six Flags Qiddiya City, and we're with Neil Dwyer, the VP of Operations. Thank you for having us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
We see a lot around us, including the tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster in the world, Falcon's Flight. Even if we only look at the techniques, it's a huge challenge, but we're here in Saudi Arabia, the heart of Saudi Arabia, where it gets up to 40, 50 degrees. What kind of extra challenges do you have in these conditions?
I think, we've been through a great engineering process with all of our rides and attractions, 28 attractions across the park. Falcon's Flight is without a doubt the crown jewel of everything that we've got to offer. And of course, we've got different challenges than we see everywhere else in the world, and temperature is one of them. You'll see an advanced wheel cooling system in the station of Falcon's Flight to keep the wheels at the optimum temperature while the ride's running. You'll see that the train has been aerodynamically designed together with our friends at Intamin to make sure you can ride safely, comfortably, and without safety goggles to really maximize that experience.
That's amazing. And Six Flags, the brand, it's known for rides like Falcon's Flight, but actually this is a different kind of Six Flags. What's the difference?
I think we've had the opportunity to go back to the beginning and reassess what does the Saudi Arabia market really want and what should we really build. This is the first Six Flags outside of North America, the first Six Flags that's been built from the ground up since 1971. So to go back and understand what does our demographic look like, which might be different to other parts of the world, We're heavily focused on family. We have 18 rides and attractions that can be enjoyed by the whole family. So a real mix. But as you can see, we've got that thrill in there as well. Falcon's Flight is one, but lots of others. You can see Colossus behind us, Spitfire further in the distance, which is actually the tallest inversion of any coaster in the world. Looks kind of small from where we're standing, but I promise you when it's up there, it's going to be really thrilling.
Yeah, I always feel sorry for Colossus being a wooden roller coaster where we're standing next to, but next to this other Colossus, it looks tiny.
Everything looks tiny next to Falcon's Flight. I keep saying to our friends at GCI, it looks like a children's ride. It's not. It's actually the most intense GCI coaster that's ever been built.
Exactly, and I think we cannot wait until it's finished. If we go back to that investigation, what does the Saudi people want? And there's no theme park in Saudi Arabia yet. How do you get that info? Where do you get that from?
Lots of research, lots of time understanding the market, lots of time with different people who are market experts, and we talk to people. But we've done such great studies with people in Saudi, in Riyadh, and across the country to understand what would you want to see from Saudi Arabia's first theme park, and here you have what we built.
Exactly. And also there, if we look at, and then Masi knows more about that as well, if we look at the soft skills, where do you start? It's a new industry, it's a new business model, it's an unknown. How do you attract people?
The first, I think our teams have been really, really good about sending the message of what we're building here. What are we building in Six Flags Qiddiya City? What does this look like? What have we got to offer? And then what can we offer you? And when we start to go out to recruit teams, we've been through lots and lots of different channels, and we're really, really fortunate to have some of the best talent in the kingdom and from outside that we've brought people in where we needed to. We've brought a lot of Saudi talent in. We've developed and invested in training programs, not just sort of the last couple of months as the park gets ready for opening, but 5 years ago we made a commitment, Qiddiya made a commitment to send 60 students to Rosen College in Orlando. They spent their summers working in Six Flags parks or in other parks throughout the country in the US. Now those guys have come back, and we've got 60 people with bachelor's degrees in hospitality and tourism management, and have had a great education over working some summers, and they joined our team. And a lot of those guys now work in our operations team, in our food and beverage, and our retail, and our human resources, and our marketing team. Fantastic skill set that we've got as we start to grow Saudi talent.
So Neil, in a moment in which all over the globe, all operators are thinking, how do we engage more with Gen Z, both as team members and as guests? How do you think you found the solution?
I think it's been a challenge, and every operator sees this. Let's look at the guests. How do we take the cell phone away from your hand and get you to start experiencing what we've got to offer? And look around the park. We've got fantastic theming, fantastic food and beverage, dining, retail and entertainment opportunities in addition to the rides. So I think we're just going back to the basics of having that authentic experience. We talked about some of our water rides that we've got. You can't experience a water ride by watching your phone. You can't get splashed and get wet and get terrified. So those authentic experiences for our guests are going to play absolute paramount of importance. They're going to be of paramount importance for us. That's number one. The second, for our employees, how do we engage them? We know and we understand from our teams what they want. They want to be involved, and they're involved today. We're already more than 400 employees strong, so they're involved in the construction, in finishing, in getting ready to operate. We've engaged them really early on. It's not just turn up a couple of weeks before the park's ready to open, I'll train you how to operate a ride and that's where you live forevermore. No, we've got to keep it fresh, we've got to keep it real, we've got to keep the training opportunities. We've planned out a training calendar, not just up until opening, but beyond opening, because we know we need to keep the engagement levels high, to keep the team interested, to keep the best people we can in Six Flags Qiddiya City.
And by the way, while we were walking through the work site, you have been mentioning all over the place the technology that is embedded in everything we see around here. So how do you think this technology will enhance the experience of the guest and both of the team members?
I think we're using technology across the business to complement what we do, to enhance what we do. We have great attractions, we have great shows. Can we also engage our employees using technology that's relevant to them, to be on the mobile? Mm-hmm. It doesn't replace the experience you're having, it's got to supplement it. It's got to be part of it, but it's a supplemental.
So do you think that technology, like the real secret to technology, is to use it as much as we can by hiding it as much as we can?
I think we've got to be discreet about it, and no one wants to walk around a data center that we've got in our back of house. Maybe you do. I think we're discreet about how we use it. but it's got to be effective. And we've got some of the best technology in the industry today as we launch our brand new project, but it's used appropriately and sympathetically to support what we're doing as a big picture.
So I have an extra curiosity there. We talk about a high-end, cutting-edge park, and that's the first theme park in Saudi, and one of the best and most beautiful, I would say, theme parks I've ever seen. So there will be plenty of people visiting every day. And how do you keep the comfort of the guests at a high level, even when it's very hot outside and when there are kids there involved? So what did you do differently when it comes to comfort?
We were lucky enough to be able to go back and look at the plan right from the beginning. What does guest flow look like? How should people be entering the park? How do we avoid areas getting too crowded? Then when we 3D modeled our entire park, it's all in our BIM system. It's all 3D modeled. We could then take the position of the sun throughout the day and model our shading based on the position of the sun. 15, 20 years ago when I started in parks, we didn't have this technology. Nobody knew where the sun was going to be at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon at this day in the year. We have that in a computer model. We've designed shading, cooling, cooled queue lines, food and beverage opportunities, seating areas, all based on this information that we have access to now.
And even if you want to cool down, I think there is plenty of rides where you can do that as well.
Plenty of water rides, plenty of indoor rides, plenty of indoor queue lines for the summer period. Of course, you guys are here, and we were just complaining yesterday that maybe it's a little bit cold, and nobody brought a jacket to Saudi Arabia with them. So we really make a balance across the seasons, like any park in the world.
Exactly. Neil, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.